Today's video, we want to take a look at how to transpose a song on guitar. Well, the first question you might ask is, why would you ever want to do this? Simply, you have a chord chart in the middle of the screen. You notice the key is G, and if you start singing that or playing it, you're going to notice it's really high. Let me demonstrate. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. It saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay, so I can sing it, but it's really high. And if you're in a situation where you're going to lead others, it's even more of a problem. That's just a very high key. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to change the key of G, how to transpose this to the key of D. So we notice there's a relationship here. This is called the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths is a little shortcut to lots of concepts in music theory. But to simplify what we're doing today, we have the key of G. We want to actually lower it 4 steps to the key of D. If you go to the right, it's 5 steps away. Well, that seems confusing, but come down here and look at our keyboard. Right now, our little piano keyboard shows us in the key of G. Here's the key of D, 5 steps higher, which the circle of fifths illustrates, but watch this, it's also 4 steps lower. So for our purposes today, we want to go 4 steps lower. So to do that, I take a look at my G chord. What are 4 steps lower? 1, 2, 3, the key of D. So I go over here to my new chord chart and I place a D over the first word, Amazing Grace. So I go to the word sweet and I do the same thing, but now the chord is C. Well, I want to lower the C chord the same number of steps, 4 steps. So if I go down, remember I'm lowering the key because it's too high. So I go to the G chord and I place that over the word sweet, like so. And I go back here to the word sound. I have another chord. If we look at our original, it's a G. We want to go 4 steps lower, so that's going to be a D. The next line, that saved a wretch like me. We go to the word me. And what is 4 steps lower than our D chord? It would be A. How do I know that? The circle of fifths tells me what 5 steps away is, but the keyboard helps me know what 4 steps below is. So that's how I figured out that was the A chord. We go on to our next line. We're back to a G. We've done this one a few times, so we remember that's a D. A C, 4 steps lower, would be a G chord. And we follow on just like this. The word found, 4 steps lower, is a D chord. Was blind, but now I see. Okay, now we have a minor chord, E minor. That's in the G major key, E minor. So if we want to go 4 steps lower, if we look at our minors over here, we see an E minor. 5 steps away is B minor. But also, down here, E, if you go down 4 steps, because we're lowering the key, we realize it's the B note for B minor. So we place a B minor chord over the word blind. We come back to D. We know that 4 steps down from our D chord is A. 4 steps down from our G chord is D. We have now done the first verse, and it sounds like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Now compare that to our original key. Remember how high this was? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. It's just so much more comfortable after changing it to the key of D. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. So that is a quick example of how to transpose a song on the guitar. We took the key of G, which was a little high to sing this in, and we transposed it down 4 steps to the key of D.